is a dialect word for hazel, particularly in the West Country. And I started writing a sequence of poems about trees and tree names. So this is house. What of the hazel? A clue appears in dialect, the reversal of sounds. Invert some consonants, transposition. Dire for dry, crips for crisp, house for hazel. Elongating pollen, crimson stigmas, loved vowels, a new and corrupt enunciation. Reverse her sounds, reserve my suddens. There's also poems about oaks, quite unavoidable oaks. This is scrub oak. They were sending me down the wrong path, and I had to follow a deer track to cut back to the main path. So many fallen trees, not the wood we expect, but brambles and do-my-laces. Branches fall again. All the plastic tubes, the incubators falling over, done and abandoned. The song of the saw. The slow, painful labour of the church bell, digital climb through the notes of creation, through the letters that I half remember. He is glad that Lovelock is glad that 8 billion of us will die. Lovelock thinks that it will be like World War II, and we will be happy to be in a war. But he says that this will be an internal war, fighting each other for scarce resources, and so he is still glad not to be. And cannot understand the contradiction in Lovelock's position, his brief optimism. And birdsong, nor can I, present cross against the blue sky. If Lovelace was loved less, what is Lovelock? Scrub oak branches, twisted sword, scapherous burden. Word is not penury, plenus overlay. Bonobo nosewood. I can see my face, and my dear queen. It is not disagreeable. Played like a keyboard, everything that points, travels, competes, and then is folded over. Scrub oak is very poor quality oak that was used a lot in the tanning process. This is Controlled Burn, and I wrote this after seeing an installation by Cornelia Parker in which she used pieces of burnt wood from a forest fire which were hung in a sort of mobile effect. Controlled burn. Lost cones, pine, burn. Easier to fly and suspend. Haunch of wood, charcoal, twigs, or turning forks. Remaining air, revolving oem. This is how we make our letters. First we burn the tree, but Eith, beach, Lewis, blaze, in, branch. Emerging fish, come to the surface, rising to die, and falling. I should have said that, that is the correct pronunciation. I was making reference to the tree alphabet, all those from dispute about whether it really was a tree alphabet. The ancient system used in Celtic times. Silver, this is in Mother Julian's church in Norwich. Silver, candle lit with an IOU, the impo of the import. Stone columns, upright in the light, cannot sustain. White flash of a tree, distortion from diamond panes. A series of stills, a film which consists of constant movement in the branches. Silver birch dying at the top, a gawky splay, and still, though louder, a white butterfly climbs. Patches of grey near the base peel away. Skin peeling is wrong. Gated, delete communities, estates are wrong. Hello, he said, clinging to the pram. Hello, lady. Gorgeous. Should have done with a Norwich accent. Gorgeous. Convolvulus has place here, is whiter than the skin of birch. Gorgeous convolvulus. Inside the cell, my credit flames. I quite like that poem because it has the word gorgeous in, which always reminds me of Lee Harwood, and also has the word convolvulus in, which reminds me of Geraldine Monk. Two of my favourite poets and favourite words. Yeah. This is oak change. The oak has changed its nature, and this is called the oak change. Hitherto, oaks had grown from seeds within existing woods, but with few exceptions, this ceased in the 20th century. They were supposed to hold their own in the plot as part of a densely worded argument and the interjection of many different, though similar and invasive voices. Anything else was regarded as being contrary and self-seeking. He had not noticed that methods of inscription had changed in the 20th century, with the gradual elimination of the curving loop, which led up to the first-person pronoun. Oak now grows freely from acorn almost anywhere. Heathland, farmland, railway land, although these anywheres are diminishing, except within existing woods. Old photographs show a dense cluster of family members, reliant on the spread skirt of the female lap, although some females sit perfectly upright. There is no trace of the adult males. This was the pattern he had wanted to recreate. To sum up the main points of the argument, the oak changed its nature, and this was not transcribed in his manual of fruit trees. It is disconcerting that a common tree should violate the principle of uniformity, that its present behaviour should furnish an interpretation of the past, and there has been much conjecture as to its cause. The most plausible reason is the introduction from America of oak mildew, a fungus disease first noticed in 1908 that rapidly spread to every deciduous oak in Europe. The best of our men and most of our money had disappeared in the mud of Europe. The mildew has little effect on oaks growing in the open, but it may be death to an oakling in a wood struggling against shade. My parents were not easily dismayed. I was their 8th offspring. In the next generation, however, there are principles which no longer seem to apply, such as the assumed lack of communication between the male and its offspring. We'll never rear them, mother. You may have had some awareness of the change as he gestured at a clearing in the woods and thought that most suitable for a sapling. The National Trust did not agree, although they rarely check the spread of sweet chestnut, laurel, rhododendron, and other opportunists, due to the absence of tied cottages. We deal with trees as actors in a play. That it should come to this, Horatio. Their shades have become our anywhere. This is Percival Wood, which is in Yorkshire, and there's some lines in here which are from a discussion that was being held that day about the new test for disability benefits. Percival Wood. Bark break, fragment, or slow space. Bark blocks separate out, molten wax, laced haste. Up come, up pluck, upstream, between one conifer and the next. Uptake, a crowded leaning or leading. Leaves shine, undercover, underneath. What is their capacity for work? Re-establish the balance of broadleaves and conifers. Make them lift their arms in 3 different positions. Heavy, with beech leaves. The intermediate is the most difficult, an interrogation, or broken with pine cones. But then it's not about the function, it's about how you use the arm, the lift of sycamore. This is Kingswood, which is a park wood with some very ancient oaks. Leave to impark his woods and hills. A recognisable true tree, the endless spread. Their endless break to the ground. Lost branches, fell aground, fell bed. This crown is not the crown's, so little hair. I did not bother with a brush. Spots of yellow, brown, green, will not leave, oak serratives. Sun cradled, shooting below, sparse branches. Nails will nail on the pails, if none be lost. A palisade to protect saplings, green plastic covers. I'd better get my waterproof. Shed branches, lifted off, hape, shape, gape, fissured, tail. These are a couple of poems which aren't so much about trees. The unavoidable trees, really. Michaelmas, or Michaelmas. This is for Elizabeth Bledsoe, who was on the walk with us. Charles Atticus. This is Michaelmas. Merciful mist. St. Michael's still visible. The military angel in full dress armour. This is how they dressed their angels in 1908. The full metal jacket, weighing of souls. Capital waiting, and so we plummet. A heavy-weighted runner pants past. Nor whales not visible. Low-tide sand slicks. It's a wing, I said. I think it's a wing. Some logo for Nike on her socks. He wanted to know the pattern. 2. Dunster Priory Garden. White flight, black spot, bee stumble, hunch, chipping rattle, throat-clearing dove. Everything protests, staggers off the petals, which will not hold your weight. Fold your wings and suck. Prolax, tax beyond, a hip for a hip, all of her days. Tank practice. In my dream, I was on Piccadilly. $500,000 marching against the cuts, funneled between the Ritz and the Royal Academy. I saw a car speeding through the crowd, braking in front of me. The agonized face of the driver, Michael Foot. Further down the track, white stubs of roe deer, graze, new grass and leaves. 2. A military road built from end to end, concrete turning places for tanks. Resurfaced concrete, shadow of an ivied pine, dead yellow nettles. Cast cuneiform wedges. What is this hardcore hard floor for? No one in the Severn estuary. Walk out, walk over to. Nettled and dock, dashed pebbles, bee subterfuge, brambles. Layer of brushwood, green on white, mossed concrete. Bury feet in dead leaves. soft bed for the lasts. Tanks ploughed out the bracken. Ling dominates. I'm going to finish this half with this is a collaboration I did last year with an American poet called Julia Cohen, and we did alternating poems, but we also added to each other's work. So I'm going to read the 3 poems that I started, which were all written on the Parkland Walk, which goes between Finsbury Park and Alexandra Palace. And Gavin's going to help me with this. He's going to be Julia.
Which side would you like me to be? Which side should Julia be? Is this all right?
Acid grassland. Rotted birch trunks. Waves of yellow fungus. This is edge.
Of a thicket guilty with solar clods, or lunch, kneeling over.
Scent flicks tail. Tongue sticks out. Grey body close.
What's left behind? In jams the freckled twigs, to snag the washed out foil, and wrappers graceless with sheen.
They have built a hedge to stop the slope, the embankment, parallel staves, dead branches between. Joggers and hoodies slip slide to hide a rise which is fair for all to see. Mouse ear hawkweed, sheep's sorrel, small skipper butterfly. Mining bees burrow tiny holes in the ground. From the bridge, an arm reaches down, bronze and ivy, a hand on the bricks. Ivy leaves separate around the fingers.
Clutch the mould, clutch your lip, lined with the loss of tides.
Bridge leaves rivets, leaf mould in metal, gone at, gone over, new earth, new loss, grey membrane peels to red underlayer. This is for all the lost loved ones, R.I.P. Rowena. Hawks and spits, Budlier gathers pace. Economically inactive, the green shoots of.
You take the train to tarnish the leaf blower's job. Hello, this is the fort, priced for an ivy reach.
Gold leaf sprays on a tag, Kess taboo, the greening edge of parallel platforms. Archway tunnel. Metal grids guard the entrance. Once we could walk through. Precise brick geometry, the blues.
Once we bricked, once we stepped over the blue. No octagon stops the city sitting in ivy.
An elongated, carnivorous mouth. Something monstrous, not a monstrance. Mister across the teeth. M is an orifice.
The office of dried twigs, administration of feather and gravel.
The tunnel protects deposits of dead leaves, brambles, shambles. Cur, wood, pigeons.
Are we waiting on the wind? Nothing kempt, the air a little greyer than your eyes.
Thin birch trunks, bent over, swathed in ivy. Over and over, this great garment, wild buried, is not too much to bear.
If we took to learn, if we took to stain our thumbs,